What's up, fellas and ladies, if there are any ladies out there? Yeah, I saw what Kai Green did. What an idiot. I don't really care for that guy. Whatever, at least he's having fun, I guess. I don't dislike him because he dressed up like a tranny. I never did like that guy. FBI just announced that the hoax, the NASCAR news thing was a hoax. Wow. That's really bad for NASCAR. Hey, Big J, new universal order said you're not welcome. Good. I hate podcasting. Oh. Now all I got to do is get Andrew to not want me over for a podcast, and I'll be made in the shade. Dude, NASCAR is not going to have any fans left. Yeah, it was a rope that opened closed garage. Was there since last year. Oh my God. So you had to grab onto a rope inside the garage to open up a closed garage door. And so that there was something to grab, someone just tied a noose on the end. And it's just purely coincidental that NASCAR's only driver with African American heritage happened to get the unlucky draw of getting that garage door, that bay. And those are assigned arbitrarily, I believe. Like, I don't know if they go by points, or I'm sure if you're leading the points, and you probably get your pick of the best of which garage you want. So if 43 garages or 43 drivers show up for a NASCAR race, let's say they got 50 garages, some of them aren't going to be the nicest as some of the other ones. So that garage probably had a broken door, and someone jury-rigged a rope to open up the door, and they just made a noose out of the end of the rope just for a nice convenient handle. Well, I'm glad it turned out that way. I think that's horrible. If it would have been true, it would have been horrible. I hope we don't have still people like that in America that would actually want to hang a fine African-American gentleman from a rope. Especially a good guy that's, gainfully employed. He may be a race car driver, but he's still got a job. I got nothing against people with jobs. For Christ's sakes, he's probably a Trumper. Believe the Wallace family lives in North Carolina, so odds are he's a good guy, conservative guy. So I don't know. I'm glad no one put a noose in his garage door. Shooting is preferred, only if they're looting. Yeah, I don't like this Sean King one bit. I never really knew who this guy was. I've been reading a few of his posts the past day or two. We should definitely order 66, Sean King. Ooh, there went my cocaine. Oh. Yeah. McLeod needs to have ice cold beer and cigarettes at his next podcast. He'd get a little bit more cooperation. Who's this clown saying Trump is done? I think they're saying Trump is going to win Minnesota now. So, Jay, do you think you'll live another 6 months? I may have you in my office pool to make it at least until January. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. I'll tell you what, I sure do hate holding this phone for live streams. I got to get me something. Oh, I tried going live on my YouTube before I went live here, and I'm not eligible to go live from my phone yet on YouTube. Hurricane is the best high gravity beer I've ever had. The next best one would probably be either Ice House Edge or Natty Daddy. Natty Daddy and Ice House Edge and Hurricane all pretty much taste the same. It's just like clean drinking American beer that's just got a wallop of a kick. Steel Reserve is probably the foulest. Natty Daddy is good. It's made by Anheuser-Busch. So it's obviously in the natural light, natural ice family. But it's their Steel Reserve. It's called Natty Daddy. And Ice House Edge is obviously in the Ice House brand, which is a Miller product. Modelo. If I'm forced to drink Mexican beer, I like Dos Equis. Yeah, Anheuser-Busch makes Hurricane as well. So Anheuser-Busch has two high gravities, and they're both pretty damn good. But Miller's entry into the market with Ice House Edge is pretty good. Make sure you don't buy the regular Ice House. It's Ice House Edge. I believe it's 8.0 alcohol by volume. It's good. Jay, thoughts on the foot fetish girl? Which one are you talking about? The one that I posted on my page about a week ago with the blue toenails? She's really cute, if that's the one you're talking about. She was live earlier today. I tried to get you guys to go on there. I got a little bored with it, though. I didn't stay on there very long. Yeah, building the YouTube is going to take a while. Foot fetish girl is a Trump hater. I'm sure she is. She looks like a little millennial. Most millennials are anti-Trump because if you're of that age group, it's not cool to be conservative. It's way more cool to be a jackass and do everything stupid that conservatives don't do. But hey, we were all young once. Gotta remember, millennials are not going to be, at least not all of them, are going to be this way their whole life. People get more conservative as they age. That's just a fact of life. Well, the hottest chicks 18 to 35 are conservatives. Well, I don't even like to talk about chicks that are 18. I'm so just burned out with talking about politics. I'm sorry, but yeah, 18 is too young. 18 are like kids to me. For Christ's sakes, I'm 51. I mean, don't get me wrong. If some 18-year-old girl was throwing herself at me, but what, the odds of that, I mean, come on. I'm more likely to win the lottery than have an 18-year-old girl throwing herself at me. Oh. I would be lucky to get a 40-year-old woman. How long can you hold your breath underwater? Not very fucking long. Because Thanks, Donkey Kong. 18-year-old tranny. Jesus Christ. If you had to do an 18-year-old tranny, some of those little Filipino lady boys, they look like girls. I think Filipinos, they look like the boys look like girls because I don't think they ever finished evolution on that tiny little island. Fucking fish eyes. Isn't John Bravo in his 40s dating a 20-year-old? I don't know. I haven't talked to Bravo in a while, but I don't trust anything he's, about him online. I mean, that could be some high-dollar escort that he's fucking paying for. I don't know what John Bravo was thinking. He had pretty much one of the coolest Mustangs, if not the coolest Mustang ever built. I believe Johnny had a 68 Shelby with a 428 Cobra Jet engine. And for you guys that don't know what 428 means, that's basically a 7.0 liter. So, like your Hemi Chargers and Challengers, the RTs have a 5.7. The SS Camaro has a 6.2, etc., etc. Corvette has a 6.2. Hellcat has a 6.2. The Scat Pack Chargers and Challengers have a 6.4. Well, Johnny had that 68 Mustang with a fucking 7 liter. That was the baddest Mustang fucking ever built, right there. And he fucking got rid of it and got a gay little fucking 66 or 65 with a 289, which isn't even 5 liters. It's like a 4.7. Oh. I'll tell you, you guys that don't know much about cars, there's an old saying, there's no replacement for displacement. You got to build the living dog shit out of a 5 liter to make it run with the 7 liters. Usually, without a supercharger and without turbocharging and without nitrous, you can really built up. You can make about 100 horsepower per liter. Is just a nice, easy round figure to deal with. So for example, you got a little Civic with a 2 liter. You can build that bitch up to 200 horsepower, and you got a fast little car. Like say you got a Accord with a 3 liter. You can build that bitch up to about 300 horsepower. And that's before supercharging, turbocharging, or nitrous. I'm just talking motor, all motor. So if you got a Mustang 5.0 and some other guy's got a 7.0, you got to build the living dog shit out of your car to make it just as fast as his 7.0. So I'm thinking I can't afford a fast car. I think, you know what I'm thinking about doing is getting me a two-wheel drive Ram pickup with a Cummins turbo diesel and building the piss out of that fucking Cummins. You can get 1,000 horsepower out of a Cummins turbo diesel in a Ram pickup. Little 2,500 Ram two-wheel drive with 1,000 horsepower Cummins. Oh. Imagine PJ's Ferrari up against Big J, rolling coal in his Dodge. Yeah, Cummins are badass. Oh, I like the Charger Hellcat. Don't get me wrong, but you know I've been looking in ever since I rented that Charger. I've been getting more and more into the Dodges, and for the street, the Scat Pack is actually better than the Hellcat. And I know you guys are not gonna believe me, but watch some videos. A nice, well-tuned Scat Pack, which is a 6.4 Hemi in a Dodge Challenger or a Dodge Charger, on the street where traction is going to be limited, can run 0 to 60 with a Hellcat, because the Hellcat makes so much goddamn power. The guy in the Hellcat has got to let off the gas because he's just smoking the tires. Remember, if you're spinning, you ain't winning. So now for the track, a Hellcat's going to fucking destroy everything. But on the fucking street, a Scat Pack is the way to go. Because you can get a Scat Pack 6.4 Hemi up to about 500 horsepower with just a few cheap little mods. You know, just a thing here, a thing there. You know, like headers, a bigger. What do they call that thing on the front? The mass air, the air thing, induction. Oh, I forget the name of it. I'm not up on my fuel injection. Yeah, fuck Prius. If I wanted to get an economy car, I'd be getting a fucking hybrid with a big V6. I'd love to get a 70 Hemi Barracuda. Well, yeah, me and you and everybody else. Those are like $1 million cars. Get reasonable. See, it's one thing when you're talking about cars. Everyone can come up with the greatest car ever. That's easy. Start talking about something realistic that, like, you know, if you get a decent job or come in with a little money maybe from your parents, something you could realistically go buy. Oh. You were an embarrassment on the podcast. I don't know about that. Depends what you. I mean, it is what it is, bro. It's entertainment. If you didn't find that entertaining, I don't care what you call me. Find another channel, and if enough people find another channel because they didn't find it entertaining, McCuck won't have me back. That's how it works. If that video winds up getting the most views McCuck has ever had in his life, you know, McCuck may not admit it, but McCuck might want Drunk Jay back. I mean, weren't you guys getting a little bored with Lenny and McCuck's brother arguing about Black Lives Matter? That shit was boring the fuck out of me. A 70 Hemi Barracuda is definitely in the realm of possibility. Not really, bro. Those cars are rare as fuck. Any Hemi car, if it's a real Hemi car, are rare. But I don't know. What? Look at the production numbers. Google it right now. 1970 Plymouth Barracuda 426 Hemi. How many were produced? I bet it was only a few thousand. I like how McCuck's brother is wearing blue jeans with holes in them. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I think the kid grew up in fucking Boca Raton. His parents live in Boca Raton. So when your parents are living in Boca Raton and you're wearing jeans with holes in them, that means you're a complete poser. All you got to do is go ask Mommy, Mommy, my jeans have holes in them. Mama McCuck is going to get you some new jeans. So that kid's a complete poser. Ugh. Oh. Yeah, I could not stand some of the topics of the podcast. And Lenny takes that shit seriously, man. It's part of, I guess, what you guys like about Lenny. But for those of us who have to be around Lenny, quite a bit, and I'm spoiled. I get to be with Lenny in person, off camera. Sometimes Lenny gets a little bit tiring with his rants on some of these topics. And Lenny's not exactly qualified to be ranting about Black Lives Matter. Not because he's not intelligent. That isn't what I'm trying to say. So, I just, a guy that drops the type of language that he drops, but then goes and makes love to a African American transsexual. I mean, you're being kind of a hypocrite, aren't you? That's my only point. Hell, even Novas are pricey nowadays. Yeah, decent Nova. Remember, everything's expensive unless it's a complete rusted out piece of shit. And even if it's a complete rusted out piece of shit, if it's originally a rare car with a good VIN number, you're buying it basically just for that fucking VIN number so you can restore it. So, it depends what you want. Some people want a real nice car. Some people want a real fast car. Some people want both. Some people want something original. Some people want to build it. That's the cool thing about cars, is you can do what you want. It's a great hobby. And if you run into another car guy, even if you don't like the same shit, as long as you don't wind up fighting, you can even argue and have a good time. Like, I'm generally a General Motors person. I grew up liking Pontiac GTOs and Pontiac Trans Ams. Most of my friends were Ford guys or Chevy guys. Didn't hang out with too many Dodge boys because they're just pricks. But I like Dodge nowadays. I like the new Dodge a lot. I think, a track car and a daily driver are two different things. I don't care if you just hit the Powerball. If you wanted to go buy a real fast car for the street right now, and you're not going to take it to the track at all, a Scat Pack Hemi is way better than a Hellcat. And a lot of you guys that think you're experts are going to disagree with me. Come on, Jay, the fucking Hellcat's got 707 horsepower. Yeah, but you're never, ever going to hook that up on the street. Especially without racing tires. So, if you want a daily driver, something you can hop in, go get groceries, take the kids to Little League, a Scat Pack Hemi is going to be fast enough, and in some circumstances, faster than a Hellcat. Now, if you want to take it to the track, Hellcat, absolutely. Chevy doesn't really make anything that I'm currently. I don't really like Corvettes anymore. I did really like the older Z06 that had this 7.0 liter was actually a 427 small block, 500 horsepower. But a lot of people overlook that car because the 6.2 with the supercharger makes 600 horsepower. Another 100 horsepower. Well, dynos don't always win at the racetrack, my friends. Trust me. And they make a little blue bottle called nitrous. You get yourself a 7.0 liter Z06 and put a little blue bottle in the back, you can take on the fucking ZR1. Trust me. Oh. So it's all about what you want. I think the Camaros are just goddamn hideous, and I like Chevys. That 6.2 liter Chevy engine is just insane. I love it. But the Camaros are so fucking ugly. They look like they're straight out of a Transformers movie. Like the person who designed the new Camaro, the 2019 or 2020, they look like they did their research in the automotive section at Walmart, just looking for shit they could bolt on the car. I like a plainer car, like, you know, like an all white or all gray or all silver fucking scatback Charger. I'll take that all day long. Plain as fuck looking, with all the bells and whistles under the hood. Yeah, all right, you guys bored with cars? Do you ever get hangovers? Yeah. But let's face it, I'll probably never have a fast car. I'm going to wind up getting a goddamn two-wheel drive pickup and building the fuck out of the turbo diesel. I don't have any cigarettes right now. Oh, talk about BLM protests. I don't think I need to, man. Don't we all know what the deal is? The Buick Grand National is the most overlooked badass that was way ahead of its time. Yeah, I agree. Cool car. With modern technology, you could really make that turbo V6 scream in a Buick Grand National. A Volvo for you, Jay. Shit, I wouldn't even drive a Volvo semi. I think my next truck is going to be a International, and they got Cummins in them. A Cummins X15 or something like that. I think it's a 15.0 liter turbo diesel. Jay, have you heard the last from the Bayou bullshitter? I'll tell you, when I found out he headed home to Louisiana, I tried calling him a couple times. I figured he was on the road and he'd be bored and he'd want to talk to me. He never picked up the phone. He hasn't called me back. I don't think he's posted. Has the Bayou bullshitter posted anything on his IG? I hope the Bayou bullshitter is okay. He left rather abruptly, and I don't know if he's talked to anybody, and it doesn't seem like he's posting. So we'll see. He was a good guy. Yeah, I can't help myself through my windshield. I'm pretty sure I'm getting an International. I've always been a Freightliner guy, the Cascadia, but pretty sure I'm getting an International. It's not up to me. Oh, no, I'm not drunk. I just finished my second beer. I don't know. Hamburg says he was a good guy. Yeah. Hamburg had to have been so jealous of the Bayou bullshitter. Hamburg was probably just pulling his hair out watching those videos with the Bayou bullshitter. Why can't that be me, yay masters? Why can't that be me? Yay, I love you, yay. Jay Trendfinger, what's up, my man? So, Mr. Jay Trendfinger, we can't call you Jay because I'm Jay. I've been calling you Trendfinger. And I noticed other people are still calling you ABF because of your old account. What do we need to call you? Like you're no longer Ariana. So we need to come up with a new name for Jay Trendfinger. I just call you Trendfinger to not confuse people. But I don't know if you like that. Could always call you Stink Finger. Like if you put your finger up your ass and then put it in your mouth. Listen to this gypshit. You should grow your hair out, Jay. Dude, everyone just talked me into cutting it short, you moron. It looks better short. I think my hair doesn't look as thin, shorter. Oh. That was a solid impression of Hamburg. I'm working on it. Yay, masters! I got too much of a Michigan voice, like Big Rob, to do Hamburg properly. You know, I was working out with Chris Evans, the Michigan running back. What about that letter that McCuck read on the podcast? Like an open letter to Big Rob Fitness? Was that one of the worst moments in the history of social media? Someone, I need a little feedback on this. I can't be the only one who was... I was watching it live, and he was reading that off a piece of paper. Like, he actually took a lot of time to do that. And I feel bad for Adam that he did that because it was completely pointless, useless, a waste of everybody's time. And I mean, who wants to... At this point, we all know what Big Rob is. Is Adam McLeod going to change your opinion of Big Rob Fitness at this point in the game? Jay Trendfinger says, I think he was trying to convince Andrew with the letter. That's what I thought. So, Big Rob Fitness's McCuck's open letter to Big Rob Fitness was actually like a love song to Andrew. Like, Prince Andrew, please accept me. Yeah, poor Adam. He means well, but Jesus Christ, who wants to listen to you read a letter to Big Rob Fitness? I really, dude, after Big Rob Fitness, threatened to, try and get me fired several times, I'll never be friends with that guy. I want the guy to just go away. Adam's brother should be shot and left in the ditch. I don't think so. He's just a little clueless. He's a good guy. He's just got the wrong ideals pressed into his head. I don't even know how old Adam's brother is, but I mean, come on, he's wearing jeans with a hole in them, in a black man's jersey. I'll tell you what, in the summer heat in South Florida, That's not a comfortable outfit. You're dressing to impress other people if you're wearing denim in South Florida. And I'll tell you what, you guys know what jerseys are like. They're not comfortable. Who the fuck wants to wear a fucking jersey in the heat and humidity of South Florida? So I think he's just a young guy, doesn't really know who he is yet. And he's just putting feelers out there, trying to figure out who he wants to be. Jay, you need cigarettes. We want to talk about gear. Everyone gets mad when I talk about gear. What the fuck? Now you want to talk about gear? I don't like basketball jerseys. They're not comfortable. They'll rub your nipples raw, for one thing. Fuck. Who wants that? Lenny was getting so pissed at you the last podcast. Nah, not really. He just didn't want me to lick his head. But see, if he wanted to do something disgusting like that, he wouldn't understand why someone else would be upset. So there we go. Lenny's just being a hypocrite. But whatever. It's him. It's his deal. I'm not mad at him. He's not mad at me. Me and Lenny went out later that night. So Lenny was not pissed at me. Get a tan 10-10 jersey. No, those things don't look comfortable either. If I was going to get a basketball jersey, I would probably get a throwback jersey to University of Michigan when they had the Fab Five there. And I would get a Mays Jalen Rose jersey. That would be sweet. Jalen Rose was a fucking badass. I don't even remember what number Jalen Rose was, but that would be a badass jersey. Can't be in blue. It'd have to be in maize. Because the Fab Five, they wore the maize jerseys, remember? Maize top and maize bottoms. They were not cookie cutters. See, Michigan used to wear blue. And when the Fab Five showed up, they said, no, we're not cookie cutters. We're going to wear maize. I didn't like it at the time. I was like maybe a little cringy, like kind of boomer-like back in the day. But now that I'm older, I actually like the maize jerseys. So as I get older, I'm actually less boomer. Now, I can wear a 3X. Jay, how does it feel to be Lord of the Piss? Or is Brad your best friend? I don't know what the first part of the question was. You think Lenny's my best friend? Order 66, Brett Favre. Nah, you know what? I don't want to go ahead and do that yet. Because I'll tell you what. I haven't read or heard the entire interview with Brett Favre, but I have a feeling that his quote is taken a little out of context. I have a gut feeling that when Brett Favre compared, what's his name, to Pat Tillman, he wasn't referring to how he felt. He was, I think, rather referring to how popular culture and the media is going to portray him. And if that's the true context of the quote, he's right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know enough about that whole Brett Favre conversation, because you can show me one sentence that someone said, and you can judge it, and you can wind up being wrong if you don't read the 3 or 4 paragraphs before that and the 3 or 4 paragraphs after that. Because if he put that in the context that popular culture and the media is going to treat, I don't even remember the guy's name, that Scooby that played quarterback for the 49ers with the big afro. If they're going to put him in the same, they're going to treat him the same as they treated Pat Tillman. I agree with that. The media already has. In fact, the media treats Colin Kirkpatrick, whatever his fucking name is, better than they treat Tillman. So how is Favre wrong? The media and popular culture. I don't mean most of the people. Popular culture and the majority of the people are two different things. Popular culture is just the nonsense you're going to see on TV and shit people are talking about and shit that's on the cover of magazines and, you know. See, I'm going to say something right here that you guys could take completely out of context. But right now, Colin Kaepernick is a bigger hero than Pat Tillman. Okay? I said it. But so if you copy and paste that one sentence I just said, people are going to hate me, want to kill me, want to fight me, want to beat me up. Jay's an idiot. Jay's a sellout to his race. But if you look at the conversation we've just had, you would see that I'm talking about in the big scheme of things. Not in my mind, but the bigger scheme of things. Like the media, popular culture, you know, what people are talking about. Right now, Colin Kaepernick is a way bigger hero than Pat Tillman. Your average voter who's going to decide in November the future of this country has no clue who Pat Tillman is. So for you to tell me that I'm wrong for saying that Colin Kaepernick is a bigger hero than Pat Tillman, I think you're wrong. I think that's what's one of the things that's wrong with our country. It's almost like back in the 60s when John Lennon said the Beatles are bigger than Jesus Christ. Everyone took that one sentence he said, and he people were burning the Beatles records, burning the T-shirts, boycotting the music, boycotting the concerts. But John Lennon was a fucking genius. What he said was correct. Right now in the media and the popular culture, these people are crazy. These people are insane. They're listening to every fucking word the Beatles say, and they're not listening to Jesus Christ. He was right. When John Lennon said, right now, the Beatles are bigger than Jesus Christ, he was right. See, when people say things like that, they're actually more intelligent than you're giving them credit for. You got to open up your mind and think, what does he really mean when he says that? You think fucking Brett Favre, a Mississippi hillbilly, a farmer, deer hunter, you think he wants to have Colin Kaepernick over for fucking dinner and drink beers and smoke cigars on the back porch and then go hunting with him? Hell no. Give me a fucking break. Oh, my forehead's a mess from getting burned when I first got here to Florida. Conservative Cuban, Jesus Christ superstar. Oh, it was hot as fuck today, like 93. It's cooling off now. Steel reserves. It's because religion of any kind nearly requires a discipline, and to idolize the Beatles is less stress. No discipline requires human nature. I'd like to hunt Colin Kaepernick. Is Kim Haines living with her husband? I would think so. She certainly can't support herself now, can she? These the world's a mess right now. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I posted on my Facebook a few weeks back that I would rather have dinner with a black Trumper than a white Bernie Sanders supporter. And I had people telling me that this post was racist. Now, I'm a white man, and I'm talking about how I'd rather have dinner with a black man who I have things in common with than some white person that I have nothing in the common with. And these people are telling me my post was racist. Now, I know not all of you agree with me, but I'm going to say it again. I'd rather have dinner with a black Trumper than a white Bernie Sanders supporter. And I think most reasonable people would. I got 3 I agrees in a row. 4, 5, 6. All right. Yeah, see, any reasonable person is not going to choose to have dinner with a Bernie Sanders supporter just based on race. That's stupid. That is racism. If I would sacrifice my everything I believe in to have dinner with a white guy over a black guy that I could have a way better time with, that's racist. Oh. See, the word racist doesn't mean anything anymore because the Democrats are using it so often. I want to have dinner with Lenny and Kali Muscle. I haven't been back in. I haven't lived in Michigan since '04. Mr. Roseville. We used to cruise Gratiot back in the day. I'm on my 4th beer. So usually I can do a live with a 4-pack. Yeah, usually it takes me a 4-pack of these tall boys to do a 60-minute live. Can't wait for it to get dark. Talk about trans and gear. I don't want to talk about trannies. I can do that the next time I'm with Lenny. It's funnier when we're all together. Make Brad nervous. I'm sure Brad is watching. He talks so much shit about me behind my back, he gets worried that I'm going to pay him back. But I'm not like that. I'm a better friend to Brad than he is to me. Oh. Yeah, so I'm kicked off my other account from doing lives. I guess I said a bad word. Thoughts on chubby chasers? Hey, more power to you, bro. Um, you know, there's a chubby girl can have some redeeming qualities. I mean, um, you know, some guys, don't really like a girl with a real hard body who might not be so cute in the face. Um, you know, they'd rather have a chubby girl with a real cute face. It's all, dude, it's all in who you get along with. You ruined his lawn, Jay. No, I didn't. Brad's lawn is kicking ass. Those few spots that we burned out with the fertilizer, um, that's because that's where we were refilling that stupid cedar with the bag and spilled. For Brad's lawn, he's got such a big lawn that hand spreader is just too small of a tool. I would personally get a something to pull behind his lawn tractor, a good even distribution. You can't beat something towed behind the lawnmower that spreads seed or spreads seed. That's like my cock. No, but Brad should get a fertilizer spreader attachment that he tows behind the lawnmower. That way we wouldn't burn out the lawn. We were just trying to get it done cheap and fast because the rain was coming. And we burned out a couple spots. It's not a big deal. Brad's not even pissed about it. Trust me, he just acts pissed for good mints. His grass is so fucking nice and thick and green since we spread that shit. Trust me, he's not pissed. He's trying to keep up with it mowing now that we put that fertilizer down. Probably the only reason he's pissed is because that shit is tall as fuck in a week. He can't keep up with it. In the backyard, I don't know if we did much on the video of what we did in the backyard. The backyard, we did a mixture that had the soil improver, the seed, and a little bit of fertilizer because his backyard didn't have a lot of the St. Augustine grass. So we planted Bermuda seed in the backyard just so he would have something green to mow. And that stuff worked a lot better. His backyard is really getting a lot thicker. And we didn't burn out anything in the backyard. We used two different products in the front and the backyard. The front yard, we did a weed and feed because he's got real good St. Augustine up front. And then the backyard, he's got St. Augustine, but it's very thin. And we were just trying to get it thicker temporarily. So we didn't use the weed and feed because when you have a thin lawn, you don't want to kill off the weeds because hey, weeds aren't that bad if you have a thin lawn. At least you got something green you can cut. So we did not do the weed and feed the backyard. We did a different product that actually had a soil improver and Bermuda grass seed and a little bit of fertilizer. And Bermuda grass is going to come in nice and quick and easy, especially with all this rain we've been getting. And it'll just give him a thicker lawn to cut and something green to look nice this summer. And then eventually the St. Augustine grass will choke out the Bermuda. And the Bermuda will just die on its own because St. Augustine's always going to win that battle. But no, that product we use in the backyard, I think it's great. Great cycle. Did you drink last night? No, I haven't drank since the McCuck podcast. anyone cares what cycle I'm on right now, I'm doing 500 test cypionate and 600 equipoise, split into 2 shots. 500 test C, 600 EQ. Oh. Oh. That's a scab. That's not a hair plug, you idiot. Do I have any watering advice for Brad? Shit. Brad's got sprinklers, but this time of year, you don't need them in Florida. We've been getting so much rain. Oh. I'll be going back to work this week, I hope. Yeah. I'm getting too old for Tren. I don't like the side effects of Tren. Next time I do Tren, I'll probably only do like 200 milligrams of Tren E a week. When are you going to stop drinking? When truck drivers are allowed to smoke pot. Are you going to boycott any place that defends the police? Absolutely. No, I wouldn't go to Chaz. Don't be stupid. MK677, I don't like. Need at least 300 meg of Tren a week. I don't know. Okay. Any legitimate questions? What was the other steroid you said was super toxic and you wouldn't use, which is worse than that one or Tren? Oh, Superdraw. The oral that I played with when I first got back here a little over a month ago, and I did that 21-day kickstart. Because when I got back here in Florida, I was doing test only.